Okay, look, I gotta explain something to you.
No, you don't have to. It's totally clear as a bell to me now. You know, I was so blinded with my obsession with Ethan that I didn't see what everyone was telling me this entire time that I should give you a chance, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, you've been amazing to have hung in there with your feelings for me while I chase after a man who obviously doesn't even care about me. I mean, Fox, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not in love with you yet, but I honestly think that we've got a shot at a real relationship. Oh my gosh, and I've got great news. I mean, we can hang out with our two favorite people in the whole world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's a surprise. It's kind of a secret, but Chad's back in town, and he wants to fix things with Whitney. Well, come on, isn't that perfect? I mean, we can be the Four Musketeers again.
Chad.
I'm back, Whitney. This isn't how I wanted you to find out. But maybe it's better this way. I couldn't live one more day without you. Please, tell me you'll take me back and forgive me.
Oh, I don't know what to say to that.
Say you'll give me another chance. That our love is strong enough to keep us together.
Love. Yeah.
Yes. Real love. The kind that holds together no matter what life throws at you. The kind your parents have.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, there is no such thing as real love. Only a fool would believe in fairy tales like that.
This sounds nothing like you. What's happened to you?
I knew it. I knew it. My son, our son, is alive.
Someone can see us that we know. We've got to be more discreet about where we meet.
I understand that close call with Whitney last night.
Oh, gosh, Julian, I could have sworn that she saw us together, but I guess she must not have, or she would have said something to TC or to me. But I can't take that chance again. I can't risk losing my marriage and my family.
In which case I would have married the wretched Rebecca for nothing.
I'd better go.
No, wait, not yet. I have something more for you. Something that could change our lives forever.
Louise! Please don't take him away from me! I need you, Louise!
Let me go! Let me...
Sharon, I'll be back!
Don't make promises you can't keep, Louise. You'll never go anywhere near my daughter again.
Hey, what's going on here? Luis, I got a call on my radio, but I didn't know who was involved.
Chief Bennett. I'm glad you're here. Dr. Ackland, head of the psychiatric ward. I can explain.
No, don't listen to him. Sammy's got Sheridan locked up against her will. Again.
This man claims to be one of your police officers?
He is. He's one of my best men.
Oh. Well, I shudder to think what your lesser officers are like. This one is repeatedly causing quite a ruckus here, disturbing all my patients.
Yeah, it's because you got Sheridan locked up here. Sam, she shouldn't even be in here. She's no more crazy than I am.
Louis, listen, will you calm down? Okay, let me get to the bottom of this.
Well, I'm telling you, Sheridan shouldn't be in here. I'm getting her out.
Yeah, I suspect a slight learning impairment. I've told him repeatedly that he has no legal standing with Ms. Crane. Excuse me, Mrs. Lopez Fitzgerald, and that the patient's husband is the only one with any right to dictate his wife's medical treatment.
He's right. Antonio's the only person who gets Sheridan out here.
Not me.
I know that you are destroyed because she chose Luis over you. But don't allow your jealousy to make you do something to Sheridan, to hurt her. Because that would be so wrong, mijo. Forgive her, forgive your brother, and bring Sheridan home. That's where she belongs.
I know what I have to do now.
Antonio, I need to talk to you. Now. I'm on my way over.
That was Antonio. I was expecting another visit from the jilted hubby. How fitting that I get to use Luis's own brother to rid myself of Sheridan's policeman. It's always been my favorite Bible story.
I assume you mean Cain and Abel.
Oh, you have been paying attention, you little Dickens, you, yes. Like the two of them, one of the Lopez Fitzgerald brothers will surely die. The question is, which one? And more importantly, how soon?
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places, and kiss the lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me high as breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
I thought we'd seen the last of that Chad Harris.
Well, I didn't. I mean, he doesn't want anyone to know that he's back yet, but, well, I don't think he mind me telling you as long as, you know, you don't say anything to Whitney before he sees her first.
Right. Right, yeah, of course. I don't know, though. I mean, what makes Chad think that Whitney's even going to give him the time of day? Last time I talked to her, she wasn't even listening to his phone messages.
Well, yeah, I mean, she definitely needed time to get over that hurt and anger she felt from, you know, what happened in Los Angeles.
And with good reason, right? I mean, he turns out to be married. They got her shot. I mean...
I know, but here's the thing. Chad's not married to LaToya now, and I think enough time has passed where Whitney will be able to look at Chad and not, you know, feeling those bad things.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, and you know what else Chad said?
What?
That he's committed to proving himself all over to Whitney again. That he wants her to see that he made a huge mistake and that he loves her more than anything in the world and that he's willing to spend the rest of his life making it up to her.
Oh, how romantic.
So romantic.
Yeah.
I mean, and Chad's devotion is part of the reason why, you know, I'm ready to give you and me a chance. You know, if they can work this out, then who am I to say that we can't be happy together? You know? And anyone who could have kept loving me when all I could think about was Ethan as a pretty stand-up guy. So, yeah. I'm ready to give us a try, Fox.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God. I'm gonna get fired if I don't take care of this customer. I'm gonna be right back, okay?
I was this close to being with you, Whitney. Now I gotta figure out how to deal with Chad and Teresa. I'm never gonna untangle this mess. Before you say anything else, I want you to know that I'm divorced from LaToya. I mean, I wish to God I never married her, but I did. I should have told you about LaToya when we first went out. But I was a coward, afraid I'd lose you. Whitney, I'm begging you for your forgiveness. All right? You have to believe that you are the only girl I've ever truly loved.
Like I said, Chad, love is nothing but a stupid four-letter word used to sell greeting cards. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean what I thought it used to mean.
I'm waiting. What is it that would change our lives forever?
It's something you'd like to see. Right. Perfect timing. Yes. I'm at the far end of the wharf. You send him here. Thank you.
Someone's coming here? Oh, you couldn't have. You did.
Well, I couldn't have what?
You found our son. And now he's coming here, and I'm going to see my son.
See, you don't understand. Yeah, it's true that Sheridan is married to my brother, okay? But I'm the one that she loves.
Please, no one's interested in the sordid details of your extramarital activities. I'm going to have to insist that you remove your officer from the premises. He's quite clearly out of control.
Yeah, it's because you got her caged up in here like an animal. I'm not letting her stay here, Sam.
Louise, cool it. You're only making things worse.
Chief Bennett, I'm going to have to insist that you remove this person from the hospital immediately. I don't want to see him anywhere near here again.
Look, I'll take care of it, okay, Doctor?
Fine. Guards, keep an eye on him.
Luis. Hey, what the hell's wrong with you?
You can't lose control like that. You only make things worse for Sheridan.
I'm getting Sheridan out of here.
You sure as hell I'm not gonna stage the Great Escape again. The doctor could have pressed charges against you for kidnapping.
Look, they're the ones that are holding Sheridan against her will. You see them? They got her penned up in this horrible little room back there.
Don't get yourself worked up even more, or we won't be able to do anything for Sheridan.
So you believe me that Sheridan shouldn't be here, right?
Look, all I know is you keep acting out like this. You're gonna make things hard for Sheridan while she's in here.
You've got to admit, Louise, she hasn't been doing great on the outside. She still thinks Beth's baby's hers, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't
Then
mean...
she needs some counseling, which she'll get here.
Fine. Fine. She can have a shrink sent to her house 5 days a week. Come on, Sheridan is not a threat to herself or anyone else.
Look, I'm sorry, Luis, but that's not your decision to make.
What is that supposed to mean?
Look, the fact is, you're in no position to make that judgment. Okay? The doctor was right. Sheridan's course of treatment is up to one person and one person only. That's Antonio.
You talked me out of releasing Sheridan from the psych ward already once, and you're not going to do it again. I don't even know what possessed me into signing those commitment papers in the first place.
Let me refresh your memory. We both agreed the hospital was the best and safest place for your wife and my daughter for the time being. She's clearly in severe emotional distress.
Well, you know what? Who wouldn't be after everything she's been through? I mean, think about it. The kidnapping. She lost her child.
Having to choose one Lopez Fitzgerald brother over another?
I'm not trying to punish her for that.
Punish her? No. I was under the impression you were keeping her in that psychiatric ward in order to help her. Why would you now think you're doing it to punish her?
I don't.
Oh, this sounds like something Luis would say. Is that who put that ridiculous thought into your head?
You know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe I am trying to punish her for choosing Luis over me.
She didn't choose him, Antonio. We've been over this, and I thought you agreed. It's Luis who's twisted my daughter's thinking while she's in this most vulnerable state. Turned her against you, her loving husband. All I want is for her to have some quiet time away from your brother so she can come to her senses on her own. Mark my words, when it's time for her release, it's you she'll come home to, not your disloyal, manipulative brother.
You know what? Maybe it's you that's trying to manipulate me, just like you've been trying to do that to Sheridan and Luis all these years.
Now you really do sound like you're parroting your brother. Antonio, he hates me and Julian so much, he'd accuse me of global warming if he could make it stick. It's no wonder he's filled your head with his myriad and completely false accusations.
You know he does blame you for being behind that boat explosion off Bermuda.
Whenever Luis gets desperate, he dredges that one up again. You'd think I had nothing to do with my time to try and come between my daughter and that loutish brother of yours.
There are other things that he blames you for as well.
No doubt, but I'm not in the mood for a paranoid laundry list. If you want to have your wife released from the hospital, go ahead. I can't stop you. I was just under the impression you were serious about keeping your marriage intact. Obviously, you've reconsidered.
I still want to stay married to Sheridan.
Well, I hardly see that happening if she's released from the hospital at this juncture. She'll merely return to Luis's brainwashing. He'll continue to feed all her insecurities, bonding her closer and closer to him. Frankly, Antonio, if you spring Sheridan from the psychiatric ward, I don't give your marriage more than 90 days, maybe less. But if that's what you want, if you don't mind living with the knowledge that the woman you love is making love to your brother every night for the rest of your life, so be it. It's your life. Your wife.
So that's what it is, Julian, isn't it? You found our son, and now you're having him come here, and I'm going to actually meet him.
Eve, that's
not who I'm expecting.
But you said...
But he has to do with our son, but he hasn't been found yet. I'm having some important information on the investigation delivered here.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean that we won't find our son soon. For all we know, he could be nearby right now.
In Harmony?
Well, on this very wharf.
Oh, Julian, stop trying to humor me.
No, I'm not. It's true. We don't know where he is or what he looks like. We don't know anything. For all we know, we've run into him thousands of times. Met him.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to appear unappreciative. I know you wouldn't even be mounting this thorough an investigation if it weren't for me.
Eve, I want to know our son, too. He's the only child that I ever fathered with the woman I love.
So do you think that it was your father who took our baby from the hospital and made us both believe that he died?
I wouldn't put it past him.
What an awful thing to do to your own grandchild. To deny him his own parents? How could anybody be so cruel?
Alistair only cares about himself and the Crane name. That's why he wouldn't tolerate our relationship either. He not only cost our son the love of his parents, he made sure that I lost the love of my life as well.
It's an awful thing to do to your own son.
I got off easy compared to Sheridan.
Sheridan? Why?
I might as well tell you. Father is so terrified that Sheridan will marry Louise that he has done despicable things to keep them apart.
Why? Because Luis is Hispanic?
Well, that's certainly part of it, but more because he's a police officer and he's a Lopez Fitzgerald. See, Father is afraid that if Luis were to gain access to the Crane family, he might finally uncover what really happened to his father, among other Crane secrets.
So, what kinds of things has he done to keep Sheridan and Louise apart?
He made me... He tried to have Sheridan killed, not once, but several times.
What?
You see, that's why it's so important that we're careful in our search for our son, because God knows what Alistair would do if he found out.
So you want to keep our relationship a secret for more reasons than just to save my marriage?
Exactly. It would be disastrous if Father knew what we were doing.
Is that the real reason that you don't want anyone to know?
Yes, of course. What other reason could there be?
Well, maybe you're more like your father than you want to admit. Maybe the real reason that you abandoned me all those years ago was because I was black.
Of course, I don't want Louise to end up with my wife. But that's no reason to keep her there against her will when she doesn't want to be there. I mean, now that I think about it, she must be terrified in there.
Sometimes accepting the help we need is a bit terrifying, but I'm sure as my daughter recovers, she'll become less afraid.
I don't want her to be scared for 1 minute, Alistair. Look, she's been through enough these past few months. What's your angle on this anyway?
My angle?
Yeah, I mean, why do you want her to end up with me rather than my brother?
You really need to ask? You're the exact opposite of your brother. I don't even believe Luis really loves Sheridan.
Why does he want to be with her so desperately?
That's simple. So can exact some sort of revenge on the Crane family for God knows what old sins he's certain we've committed. You, on the other hand, fell genuinely in love with my daughter without even knowing she was a Crane.
That's true.
Your motives are pure. You only want what's best for Sheridan, which, believe it or not, is all I wish for her myself. That's why I don't want Sheridan to divorce you. That and the fact that we don't approve of divorce in this family.
Julian got a divorce from Ivy.
Oh, Julian is hardly a poster boy for the Crane ethic. Look, Antonio, we've had this conversation far too many times. Frankly, I'm bored with it. Either you let things be and keep Sheridan where she belongs, or sign the release papers and let her go home. If you choose the latter path, I can assure you, you'll lose your wife to your brother and condemn her to a life of confusion, perhaps even madness. So, make your final decision, Antonio. Let your wife receive the help she needs, or be the author of your own broken heart as you spend the rest of your life watching the woman you love with Louise.
So what the hell am I supposed to do, Sam? Huh? Just gonna sit back while Sheridan's kept locked up because Antonio's name is next to hers on the marriage certificate?
I'm afraid that's how the law works.
Yeah, what the hell with the law? You know the first thing that Sheridan would do if she could get out of here? She'd divorce Antonio and marry me. It's ridiculous. No, I'm gonna get Sheridan out of here. I don't care what I have to do.
No! Louise! Louise! Oh, Fox! I've been waiting for you forever.
Well, I'm here now. There's nothing in the world that's ever going to take me away from you. Never again.
Oh.
What was that for?
For having that look on your face when you think of me. I know true love when I see it. Oh my gosh, I wanted to tell you, I'm gonna be here late, but I was thinking maybe afterwards we could, I don't know, have our first real date.
First real date?
Yeah.
Tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know? Oh my God, they're playing an officer and a gentleman at the art house.
Officer and a gentleman?
Yeah.
You're kidding. Well, it's kind of old, yeah.
Old. Okay, it's like one of my favorite movies ever.
We got to get something straight, you and me.
If you hate Richard Gere, we are never going to be compatible.
No, I don't hate Richard Gere. I think Richard Gere is great. It's not that. It's about Whitney. Tracy, look, I can't let this go on any further than it already has. You've always believed in love.
That was before
I hurt you. That's why I'm here, Whitney. That's why I chucked everything in L.A. to come here to make it right with you. I'll do anything to make you believe I'm for real.
Love is just a word people use to get other people to do what they want. Nothing more.
I can't believe you're saying this.
Why not, Chad? I mean, our love is a perfect example of that. You don't lie to people that you love. You don't cheat on them. You don't break their hearts.
I wouldn't give a damn if you were green or blue. I love you with all my heart. I'd climb up on that roof and I would tell the world how much I love you if it wouldn't destroy your marriage and cost you TC and your daughters. The only reason I want to keep our search for our son from my father is so he doesn't throw a wrench into it somehow. I'm afraid if he knew what we were doing, he'd find our child first.
And do what?
Hide him, or worse.
Oh, God.
See, that's why it's so important that we keep this under wraps. I promised you that I would find our son, and I will.
Thank you, Julian.
Mr. Crane?
Yes. Thank you.
You really think this will help us find our son?
God willing.
Oh, I don't understand.
There's a special code on here that will help us hack into the private adoption agencies all over the country without being detected.
Well, we can use the computer in my office at the hospital.
Good, we'll be safe from Alistair there.
I don't want to see Sheridan with Louise.
That's why the smartest move is to give your wife time by herself to clear her head. Figure out whether it's you or Louise she truly loves.
I can get professional help just to come to the cottage.
You know as well as I do your brother would find ways to get around the help. He'd never leave her alone long enough for her to make up her own mind. Harsh as it may seem, I honestly think her little room on the psychiatric ward is by far the best place for her to get a little downtime.
I don't know.
Well, think of it as a much-needed gift to both you and your wife. A generous act of tough love. Sometimes it's the only way to effect a positive change in someone's life. One day she'll thank you for taking the more difficult road because it was the one that saved your marriage. It's like a parent trying to unbrainwash his child after time spent in an unhealthy cult. Sheridan's lost in the cult of Louise, and she can't get out herself. Someone's got to help her. Enough out of me. As I said, this is your decision, and I trust you'll do the right thing.
I'll think about it.
Take your time, Antonio. I already know what you're going to do. You thought your experience in that basement pit was uncomfortable, Sheridan. You're going to hate this even more.
Help! Let me out of here!
Sheridan! Louise! Come on, look, I know this is hard. Don't go in there again. Come on.
You'll only make things worse for Sheridan, Louise. Is that what you want? No, I want to get Sheridan out of there, that's what. You know, the only reason that Antonio's got her locked up in there is to keep her away from me.
You wouldn't do that, Louise.
No, look, Hank's right. Antonio has to believe that Sheridan needs the help she can get in here.
Yeah, well, she can get help at home. I'm telling you, Antonio's just upset that Sheridan's chosen me over him. It's the only reason that she's in there.
He's gone. He's not gonna get me out of here. You God, what am I gonna do?
You're going to get used to living like a rat in a cage, daughter dear. That's what you're going to do.
You are my passion for life.
Okay, so what about Whitney?
Okay, look, this isn't easy for me to say, but
I know what this is about. This is about Chad and Whitney and what I was just saying about romance, right? You still think I see the world through rose-colored glasses. That a couple that has feelings for each other has to have this fairy tale ending, but no, it's not like that. I'm much more of a realist these days. Yeah, it's just, I am. It's just that I think that Chad and Whitney are soulmates. I mean, they always have been. They're meant to be together in spite of what's happened in Los Angeles.
Look, you gotta listen to me, okay?
I'm sorry. I thought that's what you wanted to talk to me about.
No.
Wow. I've never seen you like this. So, okay, tell me, please.
Whitney, please, wait.
Chad, not now.
Look, I don't blame you for being upset with me. I mean, don't shut me out. We gotta clear the air.
Please.
No, I made a big mistake not telling you LaToya and I were married. But that one thing shouldn't destroy what the two of us had going together.
Look, you don't understand.
I understand that from the second I saw you, I was under your spell. From the first time we saw each other, that night outside the flea market, I never dreamed a girl like you would ever love a guy like me. I didn't come to Harmony looking for the love of my life. I came here looking for my parents.
Well, parents can definitely let you down.
Some, maybe. But I've always fantasized that my folks would turn out to be just like yours, especially your mother.
No, you know what? You don't know anything about my mother. The last thing you know about is what my mom is like.
How long do you think this should take?
I really have no idea.
But it will give us the answers that we're looking for, right, Julian? And it will tell us which adoption agency was in charge of our son.
Yes, hopefully.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Russell. I didn't know you were in here.
Oh, no, that's okay. Is there something that you need?
It can wait.
Gosh, I thought that was Alistair.
We mustn't let him intimidate us. We deserve to find the son that I'm sure he stole from us all those years ago.
And then what do we do when we find him?
Well, we love him and give him all the support we can. While you prepare your family for the news.
Oh, how could they not love him? I mean, he'll be TC's stepson and the girl's half-brother. I'm sure they'll love him as much as we do.
We mustn't get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not even gonna think about that. The important thing is that we find our son first.
I can't lose Sheridan. I won't lose her to my brother or to anyone else.
Luis, I understand. But you're not the only one in life that isn't getting what he wants.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. You know, I can't even imagine what you're going through with Grace or that Hastings guy.
Look, I'm not looking for anyone's pity. Just that you realize that sometimes you have to roll with life's punches.
Nobody's saying that you have to lose Sheridan, or that she doesn't still love you.
Yeah, but for how long? You know, they keep her in here, she's gonna come out more confused than she already is.
Well, even you admit that she's not acting herself these days.
Sam, I know it's a problem that she refuses to accept that Beth's baby isn't hers, okay? But that doesn't mean that she should be locked up. Come on, Sam. Sheridan's not a threat to herself or to anybody else.
Well, not now she isn't. But who's to say how she'll react when she finally realizes that her baby is dead? Maybe that's why the doctor's so hell-bent on keeping her here. That she'll be in a safe place when reality finally hits.
The truth of the situation would be hard enough on anyone, Luis. And Sheridan's so vulnerable and emotional already.
Look, I hear what you're both saying. But I still don't think Sheridan should be here.
You know what? I do. And I'm her husband. She's gonna stay here until I say she should leave, no matter what you or anybody else for that matter says.
You say you love Sheridan. Give me a freaking break.
I do love her. And she's my legal wife.
Yeah, on paper she is. But it's me she loves like a husband. And it's me that she trusts to get her out of here. You know something? You have no idea what's best for her.
For your information, Luis, I've put a lot of thought into this.
I'll bet you have. Whatever it takes to keep Sheridan from leaving you for me, huh?
How dare you start to say that I'm trying to control her? You're the one that's been brainwashing her since the beginning.
Brainwashing? Where do you come up with this stuff? Huh? You really think that locking Sheridan up is gonna make her love you? You got no idea what's best for her.
Yeah, I do. Because she's my wife. She doesn't have to go to you or anybody else, because she's gonna stay my wife, whether you like it or not.
Everything you said to Antonio is a lie. You did try to kill your daughter more than once.
And your point would be?
What if Antonio finds out that you lied? That you're only using him to keep Luis and Sheridan from being together?
I'm not worried. Antonio's blinded by love. He sold his soul to me without even knowing it, pathetic chump that he is.
You're like the snake in the Garden of Eden.
Whatever it takes to keep my daughter from Luis, even if it means she never sees the light of day again. Whatever it takes.
Okay, don't keep me in suspense. What about Whitney?
Okay, look, here's the deal.
Oh, shoot. Hold that thought.
Oh, boy. If I don't nip this in the bud and pronto, I'm gonna to wind up with a life as messed up as my father's.
You know, this could be one of those times when you must be careful what you wish for.
Well, I've wished to find my son alive for years, and nothing could put a damper on that.
I'm just saying that sometimes life doesn't turn out the way you hope or dream. We're an example of that. And if we find our son...
When we find our son.
When we find our son, there'll be a lot of hurdles to get over, bigger and more complicated ones than we can foresee right now.
Well, I don't care. There aren't any hurdles so big that they're going to make me change my mind about finding my son. Imagine meeting him and getting to know him and being part of his life. I'd give anything just to see his face and hold him in my arms. Oh, this is it. We're going to find out who our son is. Oh, my God.
What? I'm sorry. Whitney, what did I say?
I can't do this. Okay, I'm sorry.
Please, Whitney, wait.
What am I gonna do?
No wonder she's pushing me away. She's with Fox now. What the hell's been going on with the two of you?
Enough, Antonio. Come on. Oh, please, why am I not surprised? Chief Bennett, I cannot allow this incessant physical violence around my patients. Get him out of here, please.
I'm not leaving Sheridan in here.
Luis, don't make me place you under arrest. Do you hear me?
You think this is over? Oh, no, not a chance. I'm gonna find a way to get Sheridan out of here. I guarantee you that.
Cain and Abel. Which one of you will die first? Which one of you will lose your temper and become his brother's killer? And which one of you will be the victim?
What if Sheridan knows something that we all don't know, and that baby really is hers?
You don't honestly think that my baby is really Sheridan's, do you?
I don't believe in love anymore. All it does is hurt people.
Thank God that I am the only man that Eve ever loved.